Well, okay, man. For the second straight season, I pick against the Wolves in round one, and then by the end of the series, I feel very, very stupid. Man, if they would have just shot regular from three tonight, this would have been a blowout and then some. Also, the Warriors chose not to participate in Game 5 in Houston. Shout out to the Rockets, shout out to Amen. They did what they were supposed to do. Game 6 in Golden State should be fun. Okay, so where do you start with this one? I mean, as far as this game goes, you definitely got to talk about Randall and Gobert the most. But I think I want to start with Randall because I think that was the biggest reason why I didn't take the Wolves, is because I was skeptical on playoff Julius Randle. What I pictured for this series was too many fadeaways against the Lakers forwards and just not very good percentages. But what it really was is he was just way too much physically for the Lakers in the series, which, yeah, the only center they've got is Jackson Hayes, and they weren't going to use him. Also, shout out to Maxi Kleber. Did anybody foresee Maxi Kleber minutes in this game? But, very late there, I loved a play that Randall had where he screened for Ant to get the Luka switch, because the Wolves are looking for that as much as they can. And then he just immediately spins off of Luka the second he gets the ball. He also drew a foul on Luka in the middle of that fourth when it was starting to get a little dicey for the Wolves. Very early on in the game, you had, 4 or 5 of the Wolves' first buckets where it was either Ant getting Luka on a switch or Jaden driving at Luka or Randall drawing a foul going at Luka. That was definitely a theme that they had throughout this series. Now, I don't think they did it every single play time after time, but it was always in their back pocket. But yeah, I mean, you knew that this Lakers team was going to be susceptible with rim protection, and the hope was, because they've got individually big forwards and they can get physical and put two to the ball and stuff, that could be enough to overwhelm somebody like a Julius Randle. Was not the case. It was hard drives and at times very difficult shots and the occasional nice screen action. It's good stuff from him, man. Next we go to Gobert for this game in particular. Well, everybody was saying Gobert had to get more rebounds, and he saved them all for this game pretty much. I won't harp on it too long with the putbacks and all that because, it's pretty simple. They don't have a lot of big bodies, and he got a bunch of them. What I will point out was some of his defensive plays there. Yeah, Reeves got him on one pull-up three, but besides that, hey, in that fourth, Luka barely hit the rim with Gobert switching on him. LeBron missed a three with Gobert switching on him. You had Reeves missing a layup with Gobert trailing him on a play. Another time where Vincent and Vando both were just afraid to do anything at the rim, and so it went out of bounds and they had to challenge it. It went back to the Lakers, but just Gobert's presence. And those are just the plays I'm remembering off the top of my head. If I went down my notes, I could definitely find more. He had 2 blocks tonight or whatever as well. The Lakers were having Vando screen on the ball. We didn't just see 5 guys the whole game. We saw Kleber, we saw Vando, we saw some Gabe Vincent. Finney-Smith fouls out, but yeah, they were trying some Vando screening on the ball because that would get Gobert dropping on screens, and also anything else is just going to kind of result in a switch. I will still say it really still felt like the Lakers just were never able to tap into the let's have Luka or LeBron, especially get in the post on Conley switches and just really put your defense in hell that way. I'm sure if you went through a bunch of plays, there's probably some that I'm not remembering, but it just felt like they never were able to really get to that. And then the other thing that happened in this game was the Wolves, what did they shoot from three? Conley making that one corner three on the Ant drive in the fourth, felt like a revelation. Oh my God, I forgot what it looked like for the Wolves to make a three. I think they shot 20% from three in this game. Actually, that's my bad. 15% from three. Sure, there were a couple of shots throughout the game. Ant and Randall had a couple of bad ones to start the second half. Stuff like that, sure. But for the most part, man, it was a lot of Ant or Randall getting inside, drawing multiple Laker defenders, and then they just could not make anything. I'm remembering an Ant transition three, a Dante three with Naz Reid drawing extra help, Nikhil having all day to take this three after Randall got an offensive rebound. Those are just a few. There were many in this one, and if they just shot an average percentage from three, this one would not have been as close as it was. And then for the Lakers, they also did not shoot well from three overall. And look, the Lakers offense, it just constantly goes in and out of this. I like the set you're running, whether it's LeBron screening for Reeves and then cutting backdoor, or it was something like that. I think LeBron slipped a screen for Reeves, or getting Rui an open three off of a pick and pop, or some of the times when they do put 2 to the ball on Luka, even if it does feel like a bit of hey, they're willing to let Naz Reid switch onto Luka, and he did block, or if he didn't block a Luka 3, then it was the craziest air ball that Luka's ever attempted. Speaking of pick and pops, there was one Dorian Finney-Smith who had a nice pick and pop off of a Luka thing. LeBron got a catch and shoot 3 off a Luka pick and roll when Rudy was dropping. So there's little things in there, but it does still feel like there's just plays where they're just kind of idling. And I'm remembering one where LeBron just held the ball forever trying to think, how do I go at Randall? And I'm not going to do it in the post. And anyway, the Wolves are just better. Even in a game where they cannot make almost any of the threes they attempt, the depth is better, more physical. an actual big man rotation. And I don't know yet if I'm going to do like one video for all the round one exits or whatever, but if we want to have a bit of a convo on the Lakers offseason, I mean a center. That's the obvious one. I've mentioned Nick Claxton before. I'm not saying that's like a 100% you definitely do it, because I think Claxton this past year was like, wait a minute, how good is he still? But if you can get like Claxton of a couple years ago, then okay, that's definitely interesting for you. We know they're willing to do it based on the package that ended up coming back in the Mark Williams trade. They need more guys off the bench. Anyway, this is more so to talk about the Wolves. This team's really good, man. They're going to get either the Rockets or the Warriors in the next one. We all believe it'll be the Warriors, but they've got to do it first. And I didn't talk about Luka a whole lot in this game. So, luckily he's healthy, because there was that when he fell down thing going into the tunnel. Like, hopefully he's all good. But I was whelmed by Luka in this game. He didn't shoot great from the field. He had a lot of free throws, so that's why the efficiency will be better. But 7 for 18 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3. They were going at him on defense. And if you want to have some negative Luka takes, that's definitely the takeaway from this series. Like, you just hammer home that the Wolves felt comfortable going at him defensively throughout this series. Yeah, he had a bad break with getting sick in one of the games. He still averaged like 30 for the series, basically. I mean, going into this game, he was 30 a game in the series, even with the sick game, at 62 true shooting. So I'm not saying you can't criticize him for certain things. I'm just saying, like, let's properly contextualize this, okay? Yes, the Wolves in some of these games were able to take away some of his assists. Some of that's going to be missed shots, of course, but also switching, staying home on shooters, whatever. And just based on some of the negative takes I saw about Luka throughout this series, I do think the negative stuff was going a bit too far. Even if I will also concede that, yes, there are some plays where he might still make the shot or make a great pass to somebody, but sure, he looks slower than he did a few years ago. I don't know. Again, he basically averaged 30 for the series. So, yeah. And then as far as LeBron goes, I don't know, man. Dude's 40, okay? It's crazy that he's here. But yeah, I still picked him to win, so I don't know what that means. That'll do it for me, man. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Congrats to the Wolves.